Hi guys, this is Zir here, back with another drop competition video where we pit tormented bosses against each other to see who drops more loot. This next episode is a continuation of the competition between tormented Lord Zir and tormented Duriel. These two are definitely the most farmed bosses right now, so it makes sense to try and find out which one you should be farming for uniques and uber uniques. Here you can see the results from our previous competition between these two bosses. Note that in 12 kills of each boss, there wasn't a huge difference in terms of uniques, uber uniques, and items with greater affixes. However, the sample size was quite small, therefore today we're going to count the results of 10 additional kills for each boss, and we'll see how this changes the numbers. Will there be a huge difference? We'll see. Let's go! As always, we're going to alternate between the two bosses and we're going to add the newly dropped item numbers to their already existing loot tables. In round 13, or round 1 for this video, we have Lord Zir dropping 6 unique items, 0 items with greater affixes and 0 uber uniques. I would say that this is a pretty average result. In terms of Duriel, we have Duriel dropping 5 unique items and 3 items with greater affixes, which I would say is a little bit above average. It seems that players have been farming these two bosses mostly for uber uniques, and these two bosses are the main sources for uber uniques that people tend to farm nowadays. Kicking off round 14, we have Zir dropping the bare minimum amount of loot, which is 5 unique items and nothing else. Because people started to farm Zir and Duriel, the materials for these bosses, especially the Exquisite Blood for Zir, has been rising steadily since the start of the season. Meanwhile, we have Duriel dropping 6 unique items, no items with greater affixes, and no uber unique items either. The next round is kicked off by Zir, dropping 6 unique items plus 1 item with greater affixes. The huge spike in the price of Exquisite Blood made it possible for players to make billions of gold in a matter of hours. I've made a video about this, and if you're interested, then check the link in the description. Round 15 concludes by Duriel dropping the bare minimum 5 unique items and nothing else. It feels like towards the end of the season, ubers become more and more common, and people are more looking for ubers with greater affixes rather than just uber items in general. Round 16 is kicked off by Zir dropping 5 unique items and nothing else. And it is one of the purposes of these competition videos to show you which boss is the most efficient to farm for uber unique items, and therefore uber unique items with greater affixes. Duriel drops 5 unique items and 4 items with greater affixes. Currently, there seems to be the consensus about Lord Zir being the most easily farmed uber boss that drops a decent amount of uber uniques, and I have to agree with that. Round 17 is kicked off by Zir dropping 5 unique items plus 2 items with greater affixes. The question is, will there be an uber unique drop during this session? Next, we have Duriel dropping 6 unique items plus 2 items with greater affixes. It seems that Duriel is ahead in terms of items with greater affixes. However, that doesn't really mean anything since nobody farms tormented bosses for items with greater affixes. You can do that with Helltide farming instead. So round 18 is kicked off by Zir dropping 6 unique items and 2 items with greater affixes. Then we have Duriel dropping 6 unique items plus 1 item with greater affixes. So if you are looking for items with greater affixes, you are much better off farming Helltide instead of tormented bosses. In round 19, we have Zir dropping 7 unique items and 2 items with greater affixes. And now we have over 100 unique items dropped after 19 kills of Lord Zir, which is quite impressive, I would say. In terms of Uber uniques, we only have 2 out of these 19 kills. Now we have Duriel dropping 6 unique items and 2 items with greater affixes. Here, the number of uniques once again exceeded 100 after 19 kills of Duriel, and the number of Uber uniques sits exactly at 2. The 20th round starts by Zir dropping 5 unique items and 3 items with greater affixes. It seems like the 2 bosses are still very close to being head-to-head to each other, even after 20 kills of each. Next, we have Duriel dropping 5 unique items and 2 items with greater affixes. There's barely a noticeable difference between these 2 bosses in terms of the items dropped, at least after 20 kills each. Next, Lord Zir drops 5 unique items, 1 item with greater affixes, and we also get the first Uber unique item of this video, which is a Duriel's Might with, unfortunately, no greater affixes. But this puts Zir in the lead in terms of Uber uniques. The response of Duriel to this is 5 unique items plus 1 item with greater affixes. So this is a fairly average drop from Duriel. The last round, which is the 22nd in general, starts with Zir dropping 6 unique items and nothing else. So at the end of 22 kills, we have Zir dropping 121 uniques and 3 Uber uniques altogether. In terms of Duriel, we can talk about 5 unique items and 2 items with greater affixes in the last round, and this brings Duriel's results up to 118 and 2 respectively. Based on these results, I still believe that these 2 bosses and tormented bosses in general have the same or very close to the same drop chances for Uber uniques. And considering that Tormented Zir is much easier to summon due to the materials required to summon him are way easier to come by than Duriel, I still suggest farming Tormented Zir over Duriel, now with a sample size of 22 kills on each boss, so 44 in general. But what do you think? Do you believe Zir is way better than what my results show so far? Or are you still a Duriel fan? Let me know in the comments, and see you guys next time.